I am out here in my hometown. Got done with Tour Divide like a week and a half ago. A quick little bike check and kit check with all my aggressive fly friends out here. Anyway, we're at the windmill. But this is the bike that I ran. And this is the same bike that I ran, or the same frame that I ran in 2024. I have another bike check on that so you could see what these little plates are all about if you go and watch that. Y Wayward V1. I've got some SRAM GX carbon cranks, 32 tooth front chainring, 18 tooth rear cog. Single speed this year with a SRAM 9-speed chain. Clapped out RockShox Pike, I think, has seen its last days. PNW Coast dropper post. It has some built-in suspension. I've run this thing for the last 3 years on the Divide. I think it's great. It's still going strong. We have an Old Man Mountain Elkhorn rear rack. No problems whatsoever, not even a loose bolt. This frame does have rack mounting options, so I chose to use those instead of the axle mount in case I had to remove the wheel. I don't even know who makes these bottle cages, but they're stainless. Wheels are Hunt proven XC race wheels. I also have run these for the past 3 years, and they've been great, except that the bearings on my Dynamo hub, which has 3 divides and a Colorado trail race and an Arizona trail race, the bearings are finally going out, so they are going to warranty that. My only issues were just from this rear wheel, essentially. Broke some spokes pretty early on, going down Fleecer Ridge. Came out of true pretty significantly. 1 replacement spoke, and I was able to use that, but still had to run without the second one until I got to Colorado. I ended up running over a nail, and it went through my tire and my rim. That was a good reason to visit a bike shop. I got the spoke that I was missing. I was able to retape the wheel with some Gorilla Tape and tape over the hole in the rim itself, some Gorilla Tape, and I ended up running that wheel till the end, and it was I was able to true it up a little bit, and it ran pretty straight right up until the end when I broke 3rd spoke, but it still made it to the end, so that was great. Hunt is also warranting the rear wheel for me, so that's really cool. These are some Ritchie Buzzard bars. They are very wide. I think they come in at 820, but I cut them down to 800. They've got this huge mounting surface for bike packing accessories and things like that. And profile design aero bars that I picked up at the thrift store for like $9. These are some specialized ergo grips. I got those at the Boulder Sports Recycler, along with these old school 90s Scott bar ends. And then holding these aero bars on is a Fred bar. You can see it right here. Got my Arizona Trail stem cap. The K-Light system, I just bent up this little piece of aluminum, and that worked great. There's already a hole in these aero bars, so that was an easy mount for it. Charging system on there, so that'll turn the light on. It always charges. That'll turn the light on. You can turn the light off, and it'll just charge. This is where my cell phone was mounted. Coros Dura for navigation. Yeah, these pads are a little bit blown out at this point. Specialized saddle. No saddle sores this time around. Also wasn't wearing a chamois, so that seemed to work out quite well for me. I had Crank Brothers trail pedals, so they have a smaller platform. I put these on because my right foot seems to be suffering a little bit from, I think, just sort of like, I think I stepped to the outside of my foot, and I think it was just really pushing on it. So I've been having some lasting pain in my right foot, so I'm hoping that'll go away. Continental, these are the OG Race Kings. Fun story with these 2 tires. These are actually my front tires from 24 and 25. They survived aside from the nail. Just had to plug that one, and then the front tire got a last minute puncture in Separ down in New Mexico, but the sealant in there sealed it up. The Shimano XTR 2 piston brakes, front and rear. As far as bags go, a Rockgeist bag that came with this frame when I bought it secondhand. And this thing's still going strong. The zippers are still great. A restrap top tube bag. This thing has also been down the divide 3 times. It is starting to come apart back here, so I might have to be able to get that fixed. On the Old Man Mountain rack, we just have a Sea to Summit dry bag. This thing's great. It just holds down with some big old ski straps. These are new for me. I've never used feed bags before. These are made by a local guy. His company is called Bags Made by Bears. These are extremely reasonably priced. He actually has a tiered pricing system on his website, bagsmadebybears.com. You can pay like a dirt bag price. I think they're like 35 bucks a piece. And if you have more to give, there are like 2 other options or something. These things held up great. They can fit a whole Nalgene in them. I would do Red Bulls, I would do Snickers, candy, muffins. I would stack McDonald's sandwiches in here. I could fit 6 in this thing. Pretty expandable. A total convert to feed bags. I love those things. And the last bag I had is this front bag, which is actually a Dakine hip bag. So it's just sort of looped over the aero bars here. And then I use the existing straps on the bag to hold it to the bar here, and then to sort of integrate it with the feed bag elastic down here. And that thing is great, as long as you don't care about it rubbing on your head tube, which I don't. I thought it was a great option, and if I ever had to wear it on my waist, I could detach it and do it that way. Oh, and always have my dog with me. Yeah, that's about it for the bike. As far as kit check goes, Pearl Izumi X Alp Summits. This is actually all I've ever run on the divide. They're a little bit narrow. I think I got kind of used to running my Shimano GE 900s, which is the shoe I prefer now, but got these as a warranty replacement and decided to run them. Costco wool blend socks, 2 pairs of those. These are Ripton jorts. Ripton was kind enough to provide these to me when they saw my blown out jorts from the last couple years. They held up great, just a little sweaty. This is a Patagonia sun shirt that I got from an ex-girlfriend who I believe she got it from her ex-boyfriend, so it's been around. Just a little bit stained and dirty, but did the job for me. An outdoor research running hat, I think. These are Tifosi glasses with a photochromic lens, and then this is a POC helmet, and it's purple, and I love that about it. Where I had everything packed, up in this Dakine bag, in this front, rain pants and my essentially warm/rain gloves. This is a pair of gloves that I had to buy because I left my Arctic fisherman style gloves in Whitefish, unfortunately, on the lawn when I had some other stuff out to dry, and I forgot them there. And then there's just some rain pants in here. Behind that, in this other compartment, repair gear. So an inner tube in there, a rag for cleaning and lubrication, a multi-tool, a tire lever, patch kit, CO2, little wrench that fits this bolt for chain tension. Up here, electronic stuff. So this is a cache battery. This is the charging cable for it, USB charger. This light usually lives on a little Velcro spot on my helmet. I would just stash it in here when I wasn't using it. Other things that lived up here were little food items. So right now it's just some bars, a couple paydays, and a super remelted Snickers and some gummies. And yeah, I would just have cords coming out here if I needed to plug in my phone or if I needed to plug in my Coros, which only happened like twice. In here, I would keep food in here just like this. I have a bladder. Other than that, I had electronics bag, so this had extra cables and things like that, some electrical tape, a wall plug in it. Water filter. I did not filter water on the divide this year or last year. And the last thing that kind of permanently lived in here was electrolyte stuff. And this bladder had a quick release on it so that I could pull it out when necessary. In this other side here, this was kind of my main layering system. I kept my wallet in here. Obviously, there's also a shit shovel in here somewhere. There we go, little titanium spade. These are arm warmers from Rafa. Picked up those at the Boulder Sports Recycler as well. This is a buff. Spokes, zip ties, anti-chafing, doggy bags in case I needed to stuff those in my shoes, GoPro that I pulled out a total of once, sanitary wipes as well. My layering system was essentially this long sleeve shirt that I'm wearing. If I was a little bit cold, I'd put the arm warmers on. If I was more cold, I would put my shell on. This is a Black Diamond Stormline stretch rain shell. Yeah, if I got a little bit colder, I'd put this on. If it got really cold, I could put my down jacket on. I'm not going to unpack this, but I will tell you what is in it. It is the remainder of my layers. Down jacket. I've got another pair of underwear in there, a second pair of socks, sleeping shorts. Yeah, I don't carry much as far as layers go. Then the other three things in here are my 20-degree down quilt, a Nemo all-season full-length sleeping pad, 3.5 or 4 inches thick, pretty comfortable. The big thing that I have in here is my Six Moon Designs lunar solo tent. I did carry a tent the entire way. I did set it up once outside of Sargent's tent pole, just lived here, just a hiking pole strapped to my down tube. And the other thing that was strapped to the down tube, my Silka Tatico pump, which I believe is done because it leaks air as you're pumping it up. My GPS tracker, Spot Gen 4. I had this tail light that never held a charge. I just carried it the whole way for no reason. Sunscreen usually lived here, and then I had these feathers that I found and carried for a significant portion of the route because I liked them. That is my bike and kit check. So hopefully you get something out of that. It was a pretty dirtbag setup. I didn't buy a whole lot of new stuff for this year. I think the only new things that I bought were the rear cog, free hub assembly. The rack was graciously provided by Old Man Mountain. I bought the cranks at the secondhand gear store at Boulder Sports Recycler. Sponsor me. Yeah, like I said, I used tires from the last 2 years and the wheels are already 3 Tour Divides old, and as is the dynamo setup and everything like that. So I tried to do it on the cheap this year and made it work. So pretty happy with that and got through relatively unscathed. So hopefully I can scrounge together some money because a lot of this stuff is pretty clapped out at this point and needs refreshing or replacement, but we'll make it work. We got Colorado Trail and Arizona Trail coming up next, so hopefully we can get all the peripheral components sorted and get something viable. Yeah, all right, peace out.